There are more twists and turns to this Aristotle Dumas storyline than we ever saw coming, and Young and Restless just shared a new spoiler video, chock full of teasers and fun behind-the-scenes footage. Who will show up uninvited? Who was invited that we didn't even know about? What scandal might unfold? Keep reading for answers. Amid a sea of cool behind-the-scenes footage that explains how the train car set was designed and delivers laughs via cast members like Joshua Morrow hugging a table he's pretending is Abby, comes a slew of delicious spoilers about the upcoming scenes in the French Riviera. Let's start with the guest we didn't even know was invited. Chance Chancellor doffs his detective gear and dons a dress shirt to make the trip to Nice, France, and is seen mingling with the other guests at the Maze cocktail hour. Let the speculation begin about why he's there. Of course, we know Dumas is interested in Chancellor Inc., which was Chance's grandmother's legacy, so perhaps that's a clue? Next up, Kyle and Audra each believe they're playing the other, but it appears the lines may become blurred for the former lovers, as this video hints at a possible hookup between the two, with Kyle's portrayer Michael Mealer teasing, "What happens in Nice stays in Nice." Maybe Diane does have something to worry about after all. Finally, and perhaps the most intriguing of the spoilers in the clip, is Adam turning up in Victor and Nikki's train car in France. Sweaty and clearly alarmed, Adam literally climbed mountains to deliver some bad news to his dad that he won't like one bit. Why do we suspect this will have to do with Chancellor Inc.? Is Nikki out of a job? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Y&R spoiler alert. Here are your teasers for The Young and the Restless for the week of Monday, June 23rd to Friday, June 27th, 2025. Be sure to tune in to CBS every weekday to see how everything plays out in Genoa City. Victor gives Cain the third degree. Lily is left with more questions than answers. The party guests discuss Cain's charade. Victor forces Cain to put his cards on the table. Nikki and Jack compare notes. Michael and Lauren join the festivities. Abby has a chance encounter. Amanda runs interference for Phyllis. Adam and Chelsea do some digging. Lily leans on Damien. Billy and Sally conspire against Cain. Audra pushes Kyle's buttons. Holden comes to Claire's rescue. Nick questions Cain's intentions. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Lily Winters has already been carrying around a lot of heartbreak when it comes to her memories of Cain Ashby. Unfortunately, Cain is adding to Lily's pain and fury through this whole Aristotle Dumas circus. The June 20th episode brought the truth to light for Lily, who understandably exploded over Cain's double-life admission. It's clear that Cain has some work to do if he ever hopes to make amends for deceiving Lily all this time. Cain is the father of Lily's children, so they still have a family together. Lily deserved to know what Cain was really up to, but he's been building a massive empire that's worth billions behind her back. That said, Billy Flynn's debut in the role could pave the way for a fresh start. This is a reboot for Cain, and could lead to a reboot for Cain's most important past romance as well. Of course, Lily has been growing closer to Damien Cain lately, but that pairing isn't really sparking and doesn't seem meant to last. If Damien becomes the fatal whodunit victim, then Lily certainly can't build a future with him. As for Cain, Y&R spoilers previously indicated that his true link to Amanda Sinclair would be revealed. That led to speculation about Cain and Amanda's romantic involvement. However, Amanda is still just Cain's attorney and confidant so far. The show hasn't exposed any new information about the nature of Cain and Amanda's connection, but we'll see where things go from here. Regardless, Lily is arguably Cain's true love, and the same goes for her too. By bringing Cain back on the show, Y&R may be setting up his eventual reunion with Lily. It may be a long and winding road to get there, but Lily and Cain could certainly find their way back to each other. It's just a matter of rebuilding trust and figuring out new path forward after all the Dumas mayhem wraps up. Are you rooting for Cain and Lily's reunion? Do you see chemistry between Lily and this version of her ex-hubby? Young and Restless, at long last, revealed that Aristotle Dumas is actually Cain Ashby, but the intrigue is just getting underway in France. Keep reading for a look at what's happening and teasers for what's coming up. Sharon's daughter is so tortured over whatever happened with that older man on her business trip that she's willing to upend her entire life to keep it from touching Tessa and Ariah. The irony, of course, is that by not coming clean and asking her wife for a separation, she's inflicting harm on them in a different way. I'd say she's punishing herself, but there's an element of protecting Tessa from whatever it is she's hiding involved that suggests she doesn't want her to become an accessory to a crime. Unfortunately, my prediction that it might drive Tessa into Daniel's arms literally became a reality this past week. He was only comforting her, but we all know where that leads on soaps. Check out our theory on how Mariah's dark secret is tied to Ian Ward here. Toward the end, Cain, being Dumas, became one of the worst-kept secrets on soaps, so the impact of him revealing himself to Lily was minimal. I just had to laugh when Amanda brought Lily to him in the maze, and even after he spoke out loud to Amanda, Lily still didn't recognize her ex-husband's voice or the back of his head. Oi. I also got a kick out of Amanda warning Cain in the preview that Victor is a formidable foe. Cain already knows that. He lived in Genoa City for over a decade. That said, based on a new Young and Restless spoiler video, Cain has done something Victor is not going to like. Not one little bit, as Adam warns. Does it have to do with Chancellor Inc? My guess is yes. As we hope upon hope that our soap will get soapier, not one, not two opportunities for cheating have fallen into our lap with this Dumas-Cain story. The first, as we know from the preview, is Holden and Claire, who are hanging out together in Genoa City while her boyfriend plays out his perfume battle overseas. The second? As we know from this teaser video, the lines may become blurred for Kyle and Audra amid their supposedly fake flirtation. As Michael Mealer joked, what happens in Nice stays in Nice. But would it? Of course not, which could be the catalyst for Claire and Holden to hit the sheets after a few too many Vespers. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that a party crasher is about to shake things up. Adam Newman wasn't invited to Aristotle Dumas's shady shindig, but he'll still end up going on a wild journey to France. A new behind-the-scenes video offers a glimpse at some upcoming Y&R scenes involving Adam's urgent mission. It turns out frantic Adam will head to Nice and find a way to climb aboard Dumas's train. When a disheveled Adam drags himself in all out of breath, it'll give Victor Newman, Nicky Newman, and Nick Newman quite a shock. Nick will wonder how Adam even got up the mountain and will point out that everything's closed. Adam will admit it wasn't easy and will prepare to share the reason he's traveled so far. According to Mark Grossman in that behind-the-scenes video we mentioned, Adam has found out some things about Aristotle Dumas and will go to damn near the ends of the earth to share important info with his family. Of course, that makes it sound like Adam has figured out Dumas's real identity. Since Victor has been unreachable due to lack of cell service on Dumas's estate, Adam will decide to offer updates in person. And you're not gonna like it, Pop. You're not gonna like it one bit, Adam says in the clip. Assuming Adam's news does involve Dumas's true identity, it'll come too late. Adam might blurt out that Cain Ashby is the man behind the mystery, but Victor, Nicky, and Nick may insist they already knew that. Since Adam won't arrive until after Dumas is exposed as Cain, he'll realize he's actually a few steps behind. This may turn into a comical situation where Adam's been through a terrible ordeal, trying to get up this mountain for no reason. Victor might even confess he suspected Cain was Dumas before the big reveal and leave Adam feeling deflated. In other words, Adam's trip will be pretty pointless in the end. Even so, it'll be fun to see Adam joining the festivities and helping Victor stand against Cain in the feud ahead. The Young and the Restless spoilers note that while Kyle Abbott is sipping champagne in Nice and running through mazes for caviar with Audra Charles, poor Claire Newman is by her dad's bedside, hoping he'll recover from whatever illness he seems to have. Y&R fans can sense Kyle and Audra are going to cross a line during Aristotle Dumas's summer party in France, but will he do so at the most inopportune moment? The Young and the Restless spoilers remind fans that Kyle has had some crazy mobile service issues since hitting Dumas's chateau. With the Abbott money he has, you'd think he could upgrade his phone to ensure no messages and calls are missed, right? All joking aside, This may be a hint that Dumas is controlling the situation to ensure privacy, or this could swerve into a bigger storyline. Meanwhile, across the globe, poor Cole Howard isn't doing so well. Y&R viewers can't seem to shake the feeling that something terrible could happen to Cole. And as Kyle is having fun in France, it's also not hard to see where this is going and how both arcs could collide. Audra has been bought and paid for by Victor Newman to split up Kyle and Claire, and the best way she can do this is by seducing Kyle. She loves Nate Hastings, but there's a good chance that she may get swept up in the entire allure of France and party fun that she unintentionally crosses a line. Could Audra and Kyle get swept up in a moment, just as Claire is calling through with terrible news about her father's passing? Kyle may either turn his phone off or have it on silent out of pure frustration because he has no service. The irony of him waking up after doing the deed with Audra, only to see his gal pal's messages, will add to the guilt he feels about cheating on her. It's also not hard to see Claire frantically trying to reach Kyle during her time of need, only to keep getting voicemail. She'll get super frustrated, concerned, and may start to wonder why he isn't answering. This would ultimately become the first hint that either something is wrong with Kyle or he's up to no good. In the upcoming June 23rd episode of The Young and the Restless, viewers are in for a dramatic twist that promises to shake the core of Genoa City. A shocking identity reveal, romantic entanglements, and shifting alliances take center stage in what could become one of the show's most unforgettable storylines. The glamour of a high-profile party in Nice quickly dissolves into chaos when Aristotle Dumas is unmasked, not as the smooth-talking international financier he claimed to be, but as someone far more familiar, Cain Ashby, a presumed absent vet from Genoa City with a complicated past. His return under a false identity and the secret life he's been living ignite a firestorm of betrayal and confusion. Cain's sudden reappearance isn't just a personal shock. It could have widespread ramifications for everyone in his orbit. What was once thought to be a professional comeback now appears to be a calculated plan with emotional and possibly corporate consequences. One of the most compelling aspects of this revelation is Cain's mysterious relationship with Amanda Sinclair. Initially introduced as his legal counsel, Amanda's involvement has clearly evolved into something deeper, possibly romantic. Speculation swirls that the two might even be married. Amanda's arrival at the very moment of Cain's big reveal raises questions about her role in the deception. Has she been complicit all along, or has she been caught in Cain's web like everyone else? Either way, her presence only intensifies the emotional fallout. Lily Winters, Cain's ex-wife, is struggling to process the news. Already on unstable emotional ground, the realization that Cain has returned under an alias and is now romantically linked to Amanda could push her past her breaking point. If Cain's actions were part of a plan to infiltrate the elite circles of Genoa City, Lily may feel violated on both personal and professional levels. Her reaction could be severe, potentially leading to a breakdown, either behind closed doors or in a very public setting. Meanwhile, Devin Hamilton, Amanda's former flame and Lily's protective brother, Newman is unlikely to stand by quietly. Known for his loyalty to family, Devin may take direct action against Cain, especially if Amanda is being used or if Chancellor Winter's interests are under threat. Cain's betrayal might turn out to be not just a personal affront, but a strategic move with significant business implications. Victor Newman, never one to be blindsided, appears to have been ahead of the game all along. Having dropped cryptic hints for weeks, Victor may now seize the opportunity to twist Cain's deception to his own advantage. With his legendary strategic mind, Victor could be preparing to turn this chaos into a masterstroke in the ongoing corporate power struggle. As the dust settles, fault lines are quickly forming. Jack Abbott seems to be observing from a distance, but Billy Abbott is fired up. His vendetta against Victor might lead him to align with Cain, though such a partnership could stir conflict with Sally Spectra, who's growing uneasy about Billy's increasingly unpredictable behavior. Phyllis Summers, ever the opportunist, is also poised to benefit. Expect her to leverage the unfolding drama to gain both professional leverage and personal advantage. In a separate subplot, Kyle Abbott finds himself further entangled in Audra Charles's manipulative schemes. With stakes rising in his custody battle and professional future, Kyle's alliance with Audra could have long-lasting consequences, unless he pulls back before it's too late. The latest developments in The Young and the Restless mark a turning point for several of Genoa City's key players. With Cain's identity revealed, Amanda's loyalties questioned, and Victor's next move looming, the ripple effects are only beginning. As emotions boil and alliances shift, viewers can expect high drama, deep betrayals, and perhaps even redemption, making this episode a must-watch for longtime fans and newcomers alike. In a stunning series of revelations, The Young and the Restless delivers one of its most explosive twists yet, as fan favorite Mariah Copeland reemerges, not as the heartbroken partner many remembered, but as a formidable figure entangled in a complex web of secrecy, betrayal, and reinvention. What began as a romantic escape to Paris with her wife Tessa Porter has unraveled into a dramatic saga that shakes the core of Genoa City's tight-knit community and leaves viewers questioning everything they thought they knew. Paris, once a symbol of love and renewal for Mariah and Tessa, now marks the beginning of a painful and irreversible fracture. The couple had traveled there in search of healing from the overwhelming pressures of new motherhood and life in the spotlight. But instead of finding peace, Mariah returned home haunted, withdrawn, distant, and emotionally unreachable. Tessa, ever devoted, tried desperately to connect with her partner through music and memories. But Mariah's silence grew heavier, her gaze more hollow, and her heart more closed. Then came the name whispered in sleep, the vague mention of a man in Paris who had changed everything. When the emotional walls could no longer hold, Mariah dropped a bombshell she wanted out. No warning, no explanation, just a single devastating sentence: "I don't want us." With a suitcase by the door, Mariah ended the life they had built, leaving Tessa broken and confused. But that heartbreak was only the beginning. Mariah hadn't just walked away, she had been transformed. In a lavish private train car bound once again for Paris, she appeared not as a grieving ex, but as a woman reborn. Clad in a striking red gown and surrounded by opulence, she was poised, composed, and chillingly in control. By her side sat Cain Ashby, revealed under the alias Aristotle Dumas, the mastermind behind a scheme that would soon send shockwaves through Genoa City. As the train reached the outskirts of Paris, the elite, Abbotts, Newmans, Winters, were gathered under false pretenses, only to be blindsided by Cain's declaration. Then came the final blow. Mariah stepped into the light, not as a victim, but as a partner to Cain. Her transformation stunned the room into silence. Tessa collapsed in disbelief. Sharon whispered in horror. Victor stood frozen, his fury barely contained. And as if the room hadn't absorbed enough, Mariah delivered a final, shocking truth. She's pregnant with Cain's child. The revelation left everyone reeling. How could Mariah, once a symbol of resilience, become an accomplice in such a calculated betrayal? The answer lies in the shadows of Paris, where Mariah had first encountered Dumas, then a mysterious stranger who offered her something she hadn't felt in years: wholeness. She had fallen for him, slowly at first, then completely. He didn't see her as damaged or incomplete. He saw her, not as Tessa's partner or Sharon's daughter, but as her own person. And in that recognition, she found herself spiraling into something darker and more dangerous. It wasn't until the train and Cain's unmasking that the full truth dawned. But even then, Mariah stood firm, not with fear, but with purpose. Back home, chaos erupted. Nick accused Cain of manipulation. Tessa, shattered, saw her love twisted beyond recognition. Sharon, pale and devastated, pleaded with her daughter to return to the woman she once was. But Mariah, calm and cold, made it clear she doesn't want to be found. The family's outrage was met with icy resolve. "I'm not yours," she told Victor. "I never was." As security moved in and tensions escalated, one thing became certain. Mariah was no longer the girl they knew. She had chosen a new path, one built not on love or healing, but on power, identity, and rebellion. With Carter orchestrating the next phase of this elaborate deception and the families scrambling to regain control, Genoa City is on the edge of collapse. Mariah and Cain have become the eye of the storm, two broken souls united not by peace, but by the fire they are willing to ignite. The question now is, will anyone be able to reach Mariah before it's too late? And perhaps more importantly, does she even want to be saved? For months, whispers of a powerful figure named Aristotle Dumas have circled Genoa City, captivating viewers and raising countless questions. Wealthy, elusive, and surrounded by rumors, Dumas seemed like another chess piece in the show's ongoing power games, possibly even Cain Ashby in disguise. But the truth, now revealed, is far more earth-shattering. Aristotle Dumas is not Cain. He is Adam Newman's twin brother. It all began with a quiet knock at a farmhouse door in Kansas. Aristotle, plagued by dreams and vague childhood memories, had tracked down the woman who gave him life. That woman was Hope Newman. What followed was a tearful confession decades in the making. Hope had given birth to twin boys, Adam and Aristotle, during a traumatic delivery. Fearing for her health and overwhelmed by the idea of raising two sons alone, especially with Victor Newman's uncertain reaction, Hope made the heartbreaking decision to give one child up for adoption. Aristotle was raised in privilege, but without affection. Despite his success, he grew up with a deep sense of abandonment. Hope never told Victor about the twin, choosing instead to bury the truth. But time has a way of surfacing even the most deeply hidden secrets. After Hope's death, just weeks after their emotional reunion, Aristotle came to Genoa City not for family, but for justice. Armed with DNA tests, adoption records, and Hope's handwritten letters, he confronted both Adam and Victor. Adam was shaken. For a man who had long battled for his place in the Newman family, discovering he had a twin brother unlocked a well of grief, compassion, and self-reflection. Instead of conflict, the brothers found connection, an emotional understanding rooted in their shared pain. Victor, on the other hand, was devastated. Known as the unshakable titan of industry, he found himself blindsided by the son he never knew. And worse, he never even asked the right questions. His obsessive focus on grooming Victoria, Nick, and Adam for the Newman legacy had blinded him to the missing piece of the puzzle. Now that missing piece is back, and he's not here to ask for a seat at the table. He's here to flip the table over. Dumas is now quietly moving to dismantle Newman Enterprises from within. Through shell companies and secret deals, he's begun executing a hostile takeover strategy. But it's more than just business. This is psychological warfare. He's using the very tactics Victor taught his children to take apart the empire brick by brick. While Genoa City's elite, Jack, Nikki, Sharon, and Nate, begin to suspect something big is coming, only Adam knows the full truth, and he's torn. Should he protect the father who manipulated him for years, or support the brother who lost everything? Victor Newman is confronting a storm he helped create. In a rare moment of vulnerability, he admits to Nikki that his greatest adversary might not be Jack Abbott or even Adam, but Aristotle, the son he never knew, who now has nothing to lose. This isn't just a business rivalry. It's a family reckoning. As summer unfolds in Genoa City, the Newman family stands on the brink of collapse. Old loyalties are tested. New alliances form in the shadows. And at the heart of it all stands Aristotle Dumas, a son, a brother, and a storm no one saw coming. What's next for the Newmans? Will reconciliation be possible, or is the dynasty destined to burn from within? One thing is certain: Aristotle didn't return to be welcomed. He came to take what was denied to him, and he's just getting started. In the ever-dramatic world of the young and the restless, Genoa City has once again become the stage for heartbreak, betrayal, and a meticulously executed act of revenge. At the center of it all is Amanda Sinclair, who transformed her pain into power and brought down the man who shattered her trust. Cain Ashby. Amanda once believed in her relationship with Cain, a poised attorney known for her sharp intellect and loyal heart. She had invested herself fully, only to discover that Cain had never truly moved on from his ex, Lily Winters. Their connection, it turned out, was a smokescreen for Cain's unresolved feelings for the mother of his children. The truth came crashing down when Amanda witnessed the lingering affection between Cain and Lily. Though Cain initially dismissed Amanda's concerns, it soon became clear where his heart truly lay. In a cruel moment, he revealed to Amanda that she was nothing more than a placeholder, someone convenient until Lily's heart thawed. The betrayal wasn't just emotional, it was devastating. Cain didn't express regret. He showed no remorse, and that was his first mistake. Amanda didn't fall apart. Instead, she went silent and began planning. She uncovered Cain's questionable financial dealings, including shady wire transfers and potentially illegal contracts. But she didn't strike immediately. She waited, letting Cain believe he had won. As Cain prepared to propose to Lily at a lavish gala, Amanda made her move. Before a crowd of Genoa City's elite, she exposed everything: bank records, forged documents, and a damning video of Cain bragging about using both women to get ahead. The room fell silent. Lily walked away. Cain's empire crumbled overnight. Amanda didn't gloat. She didn't even smile. She simply walked out, her dignity intact, and Cain left in ruins. But Amanda's need for justice wasn't over. With Cain's behavior escalating and his past filled with deeper secrets, Amanda sought help from a powerful ally, Victor Newman. In a private meeting, she presented damning evidence that connected Cain to international financial fraud and a mysterious disappearance overseas. Victor, seeing an opportunity to eliminate a dangerous player, agreed to help. As Amanda provided more proof, Cain's world shrank even further. But rather than face the consequences, he tried to escape, with Lily. Cain lured Lily onto a private train bound for the coast, painting a picture of starting over. But Amanda discovered his plan in time. With Victor's network and local authorities, she intercepted the train. There, she confronted Cain one last time. Before passengers and security, Amanda played an audio recording of Cain gloating about deceiving both women. The mask fell. Cain was arrested on the spot for fraud and attempted kidnapping. Amanda handed over her evidence, airtight and undeniable. The next morning, headlines blazed across Genoa City. Cain Ashby arrested in multi-million-dollar fraud and kidnapping plot. Victor remained silent, but Amanda knew her work was done. She didn't win by vengeance alone. She won by staying composed, outsmarting Cain, and refusing to let pain define her. Amanda's journey was no longer about heartbreak. It was about rebirth. And as she looked out over the city skyline, one truth rang clear. On the Friday, June 20th. Episode of The Young and the Restless, Aristotle Dumas is going to finally reveal himself to his guests. Also, Amanda's real connection to the mysterious man is exposed. The Newman, Abbott, and Winters families and others have been hanging around Aristotle Dumas's chateau for a little bit of time, and now, the wait will be over. On Friday's show, watch for Aristotle Dumas to finally reveal himself to his guests. Dumas has been keeping tabs on his guests while they rode on his train via a hidden monitor. Now, he's set to come face-to-face with his partygoers. How long will it take for Dumas's agenda to be revealed? Earlier this spring, Amanda Sinclair arrived in Genoa City with some news about Dumas. She informed Nate, Lily, and Devin that she was Dumas's attorney and that he meant no harm to the Winters family. She was met with skepticism, however. On Friday's show, watch for viewers to learn what the true connection between Aristotle and Amanda is. Could their rapport be a romantic one, in addition to a business one? If so, watch for all eyes to be on Devin. Amanda's heart was broken when Devin turned to Abby, putting an end to their romantic relationship. Could she have wed Dumas on the rebound? There are a lot of power couples in Nice right now at Dumas's chateau, including Victor and Nikki, and Jack and Diane. Are Dumas and Amanda another powerful duo? Once Dumas has revealed himself to the Abbott, Newman, and Winters families, the plan as to what he's after can finally start to unfold. Is the businessman looking to get his hooks into Chancellor Enterprises? Is he truly going to be the person Billy can gain as an ally in his quest to launch Abbott Communications and go up against Newman Media? Might Phyllis succeed in making an ally out of Dumas? Stay tuned to find out. Young and the Restless spoilers for next week see Adam Newman showing up to play hero, and he's all in a lather. There's a surprise guest with deep and treacherous ties to recast Cain Ashby. And also, Holden Novak is making some big moves. We are going to talk about Adam racing to save Victor Newman. But first, we're going to start with Cain. So, at the end of this week, Aristotle Dumas finally made himself known, and it is a big deal. As we've been saying right here for quite a while, the mystery tycoon is indeed Cain Ashby. The writing has been on the wall for a while. All the signs pointed there, and they kept trying to, point us in a different direction. But clearly, the signs were there. I'm willing to see how it goes. I know a lot of people don't like the fact that he's younger, that he has no Australian accent. Just very much completely unlike Daniel Goddard. But I'm a big fan of Billy Flynn, and Daniel Goddard is on contract over at General Hospital. So, this is what we have. We'll see. I think you guys are going to like Billy Flynn if you've never seen his work before. Cain insisted on talking to Lily Winters in private first, so his ex-wife didn't find out the same time as everybody else that he is Dumas. And of course, when Amanda Sinclair brought her to Dumas, we saw Lily on edge about why she was being separated from the main group. And of course, seeing Cain after all these years shocks her. He's been gone off the screen 6 years. But surely you would think they had overlapped while visiting the children, the 2 children they have in common. Maybe not. It's kind of weird. Lily should have gotten occasional updates from her offspring, unless Cain just totally ghosted his firstborn kids, right? So, Lily's livid. She says this all feels deceitful, and Cain is promising that the name is fake, but everything else is him. But still, I doubt he's got a snowball's chance in hell of getting another shot with Lily. At least not right now, so Damian Cain should be golden on that front. What was also irritating is that it was Victor who announced Dumas was Cain, Anyway, all this tension carries over into next week as we're going to see a little bit unfolding about why he has done this. So on Monday, a very annoyed Billy Boy Abbott asks, "What the hell is going on here? What's this about?" And that comes right as Devin Hamilton and Damian and Lily come out of the hedges because she had pulled them aside to warn them Dumas is really her ex-husband Cain. And Lily says she also wants to know what the hell's happening. No more secrets, no more games. But come on, we know there's going to be secrets and games. And then next week, we're going to see more guests arriving at the party at the chateau. Abby Newman arrives along with a few others. She was held up because her and Devon's son Dominic was sick, and Michael Baldwin and Lauren Fenmore are there. They were invited, but were not expected to show up yet. Here they are. And most importantly, Abby's ex-husband, Chance Chancellor, arrives with them. So, Michael's saying, it looks like they started the party without them. Lauren wants to know what they missed. Yeah, you missed the Cain is Dumas. And then Jack is wondering why Chance is there. Most of the other people are business owners, prominent bigwigs in Genoa City or their plus ones, but Nina Webster's precious son, Chance, is a cop, not a corporate show-off. And Jack says that Chance being there really stands out. And yeah, I absolutely agree with Jack that it does. But Chance is Jill's grandson, and he should have rightfully been right there running Chancellor and inheriting it alongside Billy. So it's basically like that legacy is gone from him. So after considering it, Diane Jenkins wondering if it's about Cain's ties to Jill, who is Chance's grandma. And Jack reminds people of the ancient history about Cain pretending to be Jill's son way back in the day, which is dubious now that they have aged the actor down by, 10 years or so. So, that may be part of it, but it feels like Sally Spectra has a better grip on it next week when she thinks Chance being there is about Chancellor Industries. Chance is a chancellor after all, she says, and Billy mentions he's also a cop. I'm not sure why that matters, because Chance has no jurisdiction in Fancy Pants France. And then we've got Amanda talking to Cain, telling him Victor is a formidable opponent and to not underestimate him. And Cain's telling Amanda he won't. But he also says Victor underestimated Aristotle Dumas and is doing the same with him as in him being Cain Ashby. And Phyllis Summers, who has been nonstop lurking and eavesdropping and being a general desperate busybody, walks up on them talking. Phyllis is quick to assure Cain she would never underestimate him. Now, if you remember your past, Phyllis and Cain have overlapped during some Newman versus Abbott things. Sometimes they've worked together, sometimes not so much. At one point, if I recall correctly, Cain actually outed Phyllis and let Jack Abbott know his wife Red was boinking his brother Billy back when Jack and Phyllis were married. But that has been quite a while ago. And in some troublesome news, Audra Charles gets flirty with Kyle Abbott next week, and it seems to be working. She's making things happen. Audra's handing Kyle her tube of Jabot birthday suit sunscreen, asks him to put it on her. Audra's talking about how she never leaves home without it. You may remember when Jabot first came out with it, Kyle was slathering some on him, and then he dove into the pool at the GKC and sort of accidentally, or not accidentally, lost his swim trunks and bared all. You know, he was wearing just the sunscreen, which is why it's the birthday suit stuff, and that really helped move that product. Plus, both Zuleika Silver and Michael Mueller talk about Audra going too far and having too much fun with Kyle in France, and he talked about seduction and no cell phone service, and joked that what happens in Nice stays in Nice. So it sounds like something is definitely going to happen with Kyle and Audra in Nice, which good for Audra, she thinks, but it's going to come back around to bite her. I'm quite sure karma is heading in her direction, and there is more trouble for Claire Grace Newman and Kyle's relationship lurking back in Genoa City, too. She is back from her dad's hospital bedside in Chicago, and Claire runs into Halden at the GCAC bar. They are once again drinking Vespers together. Claire seems kind of tired, maybe a little stressed over her dad, but also strangely flirty, and she tells Holden it's her good fortune running into him. Holden tells Claire he's the lucky one. All very interesting, borderline contrived, because there's really no reason that she would be flirting with a guy, and no reason that Kyle would be flirting with Audra. But, you know, this is what we've got. We have to live with it. And speaking of hunks that need better storylines, guess who shows up in Italy? Adam apparently goes to great lengths to get onto the train railcar. He is drenched in sweat by the time he arrives, and he made this colossal effort to get to his family to warn his father. So Nick next week is wondering how Adam got up there because everything is closed, and Adam says it wasn't easy. He's there to tell Victor something very important he found out about Dumas. So at this point, I wonder if Adam already knows it's really Cain. Hopefully that's not what he showed up to say. That could have been done via telegram or something if he couldn't get through on the cell phone. Adam tells Victor he's not going to like this news at all. And I'm wondering if Cain is not only making a move on Chancellor, but also on Newman Media or maybe even Newman Enterprises, Victor's flagship corporation. He got everybody there where there's no cell phone service and invited all of them. So maybe he was trying to create a distraction so that he could pull some kind of takeover stunt while they're all there drinking expensive champagne. We'll see. Sharon and Nick appear to be headed towards a reunion on The Young and the Restless. While the couple's children will be happy for them, some people won't. One person who'll oppose a chic reunion is Nick's mother, Nikki. In the past couple of months, Nick and Sharon have grown closer. Nick became Sharon's biggest supporter as she endured one traumatic ordeal after another. Although Sharon's better and readjusting to her normal life, Nick remains a constant presence in her life. The two have been spending more time together. First, they took a trip to London to visit their son, Noah. Then Nick invited Sharon as his guest to Aristotle Dumas's party in France. Sparks seemed to be reigniting for the couple, and a reunion could be in their future. As Y&R fans know, Nikki has a tumultuous relationship with her former daughter-in-law. Nikki's always disapproved of Sharon and Nick's marriage from day one. Then every time the couple appears headed for a reunion, Nikki voices her concerns. Nikki is suspicious that Sharon and Nick are reunion-bound after watching their interactions on the train ride to France. Although Nick assured his mom nothing is going on with Sharon, Nikki is skeptical. She knows Sharon is falling for Nick and will do anything to keep him. If Schick reunite, then Nick is setting himself up for heartache. That's why Nikki is determined to put a kibosh on the reunion before it goes any further. How the Newman matriarch will stop the chic reunion remains to be seen. Perhaps she enlists the help of another person to come between the couple. Or she sets up Sharon for misdeeds she didn't commit. Cain's back, richer, hotter, and ready to stir the pot. Who's ready for the drama? For months and months, Young and the Restless fans have been on edge trying to unravel the mystery of who is Aristotle Dumas. The former Genoa City sweetheart turned outcast has spent years in the shadows building up his massive wealth and putting his life together, all while keeping his head down and his real name under wraps. After the Friday, June 20th episode, though, the truth is out, and we know that Dumas is really Cain Ashby. So, what now? First off, where exactly did Cain get all this cash? He left town practically broke and claiming he was running off to track down the money his father stole. He recovered the funds and they landed in Devon's account years ago. But now, all of a sudden, he's a posh billionaire? Seems rather fishy if we do say so ourselves. Shady, very, very shady. Did he skim a little off the top? What about his kids? Has Cain kept all this hidden from the twins? How did he collect such a massive fortune without Maddie and Charlie telling their mother? Do they not know? That's quite a secret to keep from his own children. Oh, and speaking of children, where exactly is baby Sam? Has he grown up with a silver spoon, or is he going to become a forgotten child that Cain never speaks of again? As if this couldn't get any more suspicious, we need to know what Cain's plans are now. Did he plan this whole reveal party as a way to shake up Lily in the hopes of finally getting her attention? Does he want her back, or does he have another announcement on the way? One that will leave jaws on the floor, like a new spouse. Imagine Lily's reaction if she finds out her children have a stepmom she doesn't know about. Is Cain doing all this to give up his richy-rich lifestyle in Paris for a chance at a redo life in Genoa City? Oh, how that would turn the tides. Not only will he come home with bags upon bags of cash, but he's now a powerhouse player, and that's not a dynamic he's ever really had while living in the USA. It could be fun watching him go toe-to-toe with the Abbotts, the Newmans, and the Winters. Oh, imagine the showdowns Cain will have with Victor and Devon. Not to mention taking on Adam and Billy. Let those good times roll. Whatever is coming Cain's way, we can't wait. It's about time we got another mogul in the mix. And Cain is well-versed in all things Genoa City, and he knows how to roll with the punches. The next few weeks are going to be huge, and we are here for all the drama.